Borough fans, hello and welcome back to the Stevenage Football Club podcast. That is right, it is season 7 and we are currently in the 37th episode this season. Wow, that is correct. 37 episodes, 26 matches, 8th place, 39 points. I'm so proud. And what a point. What a point, and hello to everyone that is viewing on YouTube for today's episode, and a massive hello to all of you that are tuning in on the Audibles, Spotify, most noticeably. We hope you're having a great day, and we hope that you like this episode, really. Last week was kind of different because it was a bit of a ranting episode after the 3-0 defeat to Exeter. Since then, we have got back to getting results. A 0-0 draw at Bolton and a 1-1 at last dramatic draw against Mansfield yesterday to keep the team 8th place, 39 points. We have the final 20 matches of the most important season. It's going to be very exciting to see how we end and then go into, I'm calling it, the biggest season next season. I'm calling it, guys. Back on the pod tonight, we've got And and Luca. Look, boys, I'm throwing it in there. What a point. What a result. Last minute, And's going to be bubbling to the surface.
No.
Nothing, And? No? Nothing to add?
No words, because ultimately we get this every week, regardless of the result. Maybe not last week, but whenever we get a point here or there or a win, I just know what's coming. I've run out
Do you
of
know
words
what?
now.
And's probably fed up. I'm positive with it. Yes, that for second half we were great. I know people want to, we're at that point where it's like, we have to win a game of football. I think Tuesday at Peterborough is like the game, right? But I thought it was good. Just obviously, first half there, wasn't the finest viewing, but the second half, I thought we were really positive. But I don't know. That's me.
I think first half Mansfield made it the game that it was. They made it scrappy. They made it competitive, and we fell into the trap. And then the second half, we dictated the game. We got hold of the ball, and we played the way we wanted to play. Could we? I'm sure we'll go into it later, but I felt like we did enough to win the game personally in the second half. But as I keep saying, you can't rock up to a game of football and expect to play for 45 to 60 minutes and expect to win. You have to play for 75, 80, 85 minutes and expect to get a result.
Well, I'll tell you what would have been disastrous. Like, when we went 1-0 down, I was like, we never deserved to be losing this game. Like, considering how positive the second half was, there was an identity to our play. Again, we'll get into it later. But that to lose that would have just been like, how have we lost that game? Never deserved to lose it in the way that we played. But how are you boys though? How was your weekend, guys?
Well, I'm still alive, so that's always a good sign, I suppose.
Touch wood. We never fate the universe. Do you know what I mean? It's all good. How are you, Luca, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to be back on after last week's shenanigans. But
oh yeah, you were off that one, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a bit of a injury at football where just vision went in one of my eyes, which weren't great.
Oh no.
So back after that, about 7 hours A&E.
You don't need these, do you, Luca?
I do not.
No, Ange, you need them more than Luca does. It's all right, mate.
Yeah, otherwise I can't see bugger all.
And taking his glove.
No, to be fair, yesterday I thought in the first half, I think I look at it this way though, because I think that Mansfield turned up with a low block and outmarshaled us completely. And I think that the way we approached that, I think we should be learning from that type of opposition that's setting up like that. Because think of how many times Plymouth, Doncaster, Burton, the amount of times they've come up in the first half and set up like that, we should already know by now what teams are going to do. So I think first half, as I agree with Ange, you can't turn up for 45 minutes in the second half or turn up in the first half and not the second half. Second half, I thought we really did enough to win the game, and I really liked it because, we just had that confidence to play. But if it wasn't working, we kept doing it, and that's something that I was really impressed with, and something we haven't really seen. And players were being themselves. I thought players weren't just sticking to their roles; they were being expansive. They were, just going across different roles and just being themselves, being the players that they are, and not really being suited to the system, not strict to the system. So I think players like Jamie Reid had a really good second half. I think it felt like in the first half was just going to be one of those games where he drifted off and he had two players up his backside the whole game and he couldn't really get anything and he was feeding off scraps. But second half, I thought his all-round game was really impressive. I mean, the way he was linking up with Bez, with Robbo, I thought, he looked like the Reedy of old. The Reedy that wasn't that, out-and-out striker that just goes for goals. He was one that was integrated in the team's play, which I really, really liked. And probably his best performance in months, I think, in that second half. Because you look at his game in most recent months, you think he's just going to provide a goal. And that's what he's provided. But there, you saw the type of game he can provide. And it needs to be in the system that suits him, So that second half, I thought our ball retention was really good. Our ball progression was really good. And the only thing for me was the starting 11. I think we had majority of our best attacking players on the bench. And I think it's a reminder to Revs that those players on the bench should be starting to get that impact from the get-go. That's what I think. And the players that have started, although they did have a good second half, I think that they've had enough opportunities and he should be mixing up. Because if you want to play that fluid, attacking system where the ball's on the floor for the second half, you want to have those players that are on the bench on the pitch from the get-go. So I think there's a lot of changes that need to be made, but it's not drastic changes. And I think that game just shows what needs to be done. And I think definitely the last-minute goal from Chem, the impact from Kempe in the second half, I thought was fantastic. I think their roles really show to Revs and to us who should be starting and what system we should be playing to get the best out of those players.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Again, I thought it was really positive in the second half. For the first time, I know Luton, we were great for 60 minutes, but for the first time, probably since the kind of season winner called it, the 3-1 win at Stockport was the first time we had a real identity to our play. It started to click again for us, the way that we played. And again, it showed certain players coming on the pitch in the second half should have been starting. When we talk about Kemp and Chem both linking up for the goal, these are big players in that final third. That, when we talk about Chem Campbell, for example, this is a guy that's played a lot of the season. He's a top League One level player. Look at the performance at Stockport and other games that Chem's played in. He's brilliant. He shouldn't be sitting on the bench. We'll get straight into it. Now, I know...
before we go any further,
like a little school kid. Sorry,
I've got.
Hang on, you're not going to mention about your celebrity appearance, are you?
Get out.
I just want to add this in there.
Farley, no.
That Stevenage Football Club Foundation had to pay Anne for the.
Can we get a rendition, Anne? Can we get a rendition?
Yeah, go on. What did you say, Anne? Go on. If anyone's seen it.
Diversity.
Diversity.
Before we go any further, I actually have to eat a bit of humble pie after saying
Bez.
Yeah, saying he was atrocious for weeks. Yesterday, I thought he was actually very, very good. So I apologise. I clearly know nothing about football.
I've been telling you this for weeks. Just ignore me. Oh, it's Farley. Let's all take the mick out of Farley saying about the Bears. Comes in and puts a shift in like that. Okay. The shot that he had to hit the corner flag, that wasn't involved in the package. Yeah. Although we did lose him on the throw, by the way, that little shimmy and inside, that was good. But
something about a jet to holiday on that shot, or
he just hits it. I'm ready for this. There's no denying. It just goes up. Your jet to holiday. It just sailed off into the low clouds above SG2. Incredible.
Or a burger goes flying, chop up the walls.
Yeah. Literally, someone's food ruined. For all the listeners, we did have two games, and obviously, I know that me and the boys have just touched a little bit on that 1-1 draw yesterday. Now, we know that we had the 0-0 against Bolton. We're not really going to dive into that game as such, because I think we all knew what Tuesday was, really. It was just a game to get a result in, and we did that. And it was really important after the 3-0 against Exeter that we responded with a result. To do it 0-0, clean sheet, really hard fought, battling performance by the players, and I was really proud of them on Tuesday. And they're playing a good side in Bolton, who I know their away form's not exactly amazing, but Bolton are third in the league at the minute. So we're not going to dive into Tuesday. We are going to dive into yesterday, however, as it was a big game yesterday. It was a really, really big game yesterday. And I think out of the three, a lot of us looked at this one as potentially the hardest, although I think Peterborough might be a really tough on Tuesday. But we'll get straight into it. Our 26th League One match of the 2025/26 season, the most important season, to become a top half League One team. It was Mansfield Town. The game did end 1-1. Late drama. Lucas Aiken scored from the penalty spot in the 78th minute, and Chem Campbell equalised for us in the 96th minute at the end of the match. The first last-minute goal that we have had since, unbelievably, the 2-1 away win at Port Vale this season to keep us top. The brace from Jamie Reid. So it's been a long time since we've scored a last-minute goal in a game. The lineups for this game, a lot of controversy around this when the 11 came out, and we will discuss it in a little bit. But Revs lined up in that 4-2-3-1. Philip Marshall in between the sticks. The back line was Jasper Patterson, Charlie Good, Cole Pigiani, and Lewis Freestone. Obviously, Jasper Patterson obviously played Tuesday and was in this one as well due to Luther Wilding's injury to his shoulder at Exeter. The two in the middle, it was a little bit of a swap, really. It was Louis Thompson and Harvey White. But Dan Phillips also swapped into that role as well. But Louis Thompson and Harvey Wright started in that 2. Jordan Roberts on the right, Dan Phillips in that 10 that kept swapping over. The Bez out on the left, and leading the line it was Jamie Reid. On the bench for the 1-1 draw on Saturday, Tay Ashby-Hammond, Chem Campbell, Harry Cornick, Ryan Doherty, Dan Kemp, Phoenix Patterson, and the Sween Dog, Dan Sweeney. The statistics for the game. Now, these are really positive statistics and really promising statistics. And actually, looking back at some of the recent, some of our recent results and matches, these are the most dominating statistics that we have had in a game since the 3-1 season win at Stockport. So this is really promising reading. We had 63% possession in the 1-1 draw on Saturday, which is the highest amount of possession we've had all season. We've had 15 shots in the game with 5 on target. Again, the most amount of shots that we've had since the win at Stockport. 18 touches in the opposition box. Philip Marshall on these statistics didn't make a save in the whole game. Obviously, the penalty side alone, he didn't have a save to make. In the whole game. We won 27 aerial duels in the match. We had 5 corners, some pass distribution. We made 420 passes, joint first with the most amount that we've made this season. We had a 71.4% pass accuracy, 66 backward passes, 169 forward passes, 72 long balls, 63 successful final third passes, and 25 crosses in the match. On terms of the statistics, we dominated Mansfield in every metric on the statistics, ending in the 1-1. And now, boys, I know that we've touched on it a little bit there. I was really happy with that second half. And look, I know the first half, and first halves have been an issue for us at home, away as well, but at home, when we've had a look at the the recent matches at home, we haven't been starting well at home. But honestly, I thought we were fantastic in the second half. I thought the improvement that we have made from Exeter last week in just a week is night and day. I thought the football we played was back to ourselves. We had an identity. You know, it was the first time that, I was watching that second half performance and I really felt like I knew what we were doing again. We were moving the ball from one side of the pitch to the other and creating those crossing opportunities and trying to go through the lines. Jamie Reid, as that 9, came into the play more and got involved and played like that number 9 that Revs wants him to be. I thought it was a really positive second half. One that we never deserved to lose, but to go and score that goal late on, to have that moment, to have the ability to come back and score, big moment for this team. I thought it was a real solid result. And I was quite happy with it. I know that there was a lot of people that weren't happy with it. But, when we look at the statistics for this game, the second half was really positive. And one of our best performances in that second half, along with Luton, probably since Stockport. What did you make of it, boys? Who wants to go first?
Luca, far away.
Oh, and giving it up. Go on.
Is that because you don't want to touch on it? Or...
I know why he doesn't.
No, I'll let you go first.
You know why he doesn't? He's too busy trying to think of his Idiots 11 again.
Oh, yeah. Idiots 85.
Yeah, Idiots 85, because there isn't just 11 idiots.
No, this list is growing. Don't worry about that.
Oh. It's going to run out soon.
Idiots 101.
Oh, yeah. I like that, and I like that. Idiots 101. Idiots 101.
No, a few things. I think that, firstly, the real big positive for me is that all the chances we created, all the good stuff we had, came in 45 minutes. And, because that first half, I class it as completely irrelevant, because
I do. Yeah.
That was the recent us, the us that we don't like, the us where we're really one-dimensional and we're stuck to that 4-2-3-1 and we can't break teams down. And as I always say, first 5-10 minutes, you could tell what that first half was going to be like. You could tell that Mansfield were just happy to ride it out, be physical and just dominate and just not let us do anything. And the problem is for me, though, is that they set up like that and then we don't play around them quick enough. We don't look for those openings and we just look like we're comfortable just to ride it out and get to the second half, which, if we obviously didn't concede the penalty, would have been good for yesterday because we would have had that second half performance and we would have gone on and won the game.
By the way, imagine that being the winner. By the way,
yeah, exactly.
That would have been unreal.
Exactly. But the problem is, I feel like because we've been so poor at home, there is a thing around the ground where fans are turning up and they're expecting that first half performance. And when that comes in the first half, it doesn't strike fear into a lot of fans, and I feel like that's a problem with in terms of our attendance and our ticket sales at the moment, especially at home. And that's the thing for the players. They've got to replicate that second half in the first half. It doesn't even have to be as good as that. It could just be an energised first half where we try and play. It might not work. We might concede a goal. We might concede a few chances, but then we respond. And then we change it up. We don't just see how Mansfield is setting up with a low block and then just play like that, just play into their hands. We don't want to play like that. We want to, have all these different dynamics that we can just try and break them down. If it doesn't work, we can at least say 0-0 coming in at half time, we've given it a go. And for me, after 45 minutes, there's been so many instances where we've had halves this season wasted because we've just been so one-dimensional and we haven't gone at the opposition. We haven't given them something to think about, which we did in the second half. We gave Mansfield heaps of problems to think about when we introduced Kempe, Phoenix, Chen, all of them. Because with that front three we start, in the form they're in, you know what they're going to do, especially in that first half. You know they're going to stick to their roles, they're going to play like that, and they're going to struggle to break them down. So for me, it's really promising to have that second half. But as I always say, you need that 90 minutes. That 90 minutes of just solid performance because we haven't had it for ages. And it doesn't have to be 90 minutes of incredible, exciting, attacking football like we saw for large proportions in the second half. It can just be an energetic performance where we show physicality, we show aggression. We press them high. We have some shots. We create chances. We get the overlaps. We get down the byline, get crosses in. We attack the ball when it comes in from half. That's a big thing for me. In the set piece delivery in itself isn't great, but it's the players attacking it into the box. That's been something for us recently. But yeah, 90-minute performance for me. That's what I want to see. And I feel like one of the last ones we saw that was against Peterborough away from home.
Yeah, really
which isn't great, but we've got to see that. And I feel like in the past, that's something that you've resonated with us so much. That 90 minutes of physicality, aggression, intensity, that type of performance where we get a goal, we create a few chances, and we're solid. And that's been really hard to decipher. That's been really hard to find. And that's something we should return to. But it's great to see that in second half. We need a 90-minute performance.
Yeah. For me, it seemed almost yesterday in that second half period that the penny dropped a little bit. Now, today I've been watching, because I've had a bit of a lazy day, I've been watching back all the highlights from this season, right? And we talk about, we've had this incredible season. Look at Anne's face. We've had this incredible season. We knew what we created in the summer to be a top half League One team. And it's been wonderful. Look, 8 wins in the first 10 and, the performances and the domination and, the fact we've had the best defence. We've been unbeaten at home till December. And, it's been wonderful, right? But obviously teams have sussed us out. And we say it all the time. Around that November period was when we started to see it for the first time when we played Reading. And then obviously Revs changed the system. We won a couple of games. We picked up some really good results. Like Wigan away was a really positive point. And then we went back, beat Stockport. And then since then, he's played the same system. But there's something that I've noticed is what teams are doing, especially at home, is they come and sit with a low block. And at the start of the season, really oddly, I was seeing it in the highlights, first 10 matches, teams weren't setting up like that against us. It was almost like they were kind of playing to their system, trying to press us and trying to come forward as a group. And actually, the way that we play in that system, it really was really good in those opening kind of 3 months of the season. We were able to play in a space, get round, get deliveries in the box, play through the line, do those things. But when teams play a low block, it's almost like we've stopped doing all of those good things that we were doing for the first 3 months. And what you have to do, or what we've done probably wrong, is when we've come up against teams in a low block, we will try and move the ball a bit. We'll move it back, and then it'll end up in a direct ball to a certain side of the pitch to then start again. But when you're playing against teams in a low block, you have to have the ability to move the ball quickly between the lines at quality. It has to be sharp. It has to be crisp. You have to run at players. You have to take players on. You have to create space. You need overlappers. You need your back line to press up. You have to do all of those things. And watching the highlights, it's just very clear we haven't done that. And what really impressed me was in the second half yesterday, we started to do that. We started to move the ball quickly. We had people running at people. We had the ball going in between the lines. We had the ball going to feet for Jamie Reid. They're all the things that you have to do when you're playing against a team that are playing a low block. And you saw the proof of it in the second half. Many a times we had a really good passage of play. We were able to find space. We got good deliveries into the box. We created some decent openings. Those are the things you've got to do. So it was almost like a penny dropping moment for me with that performance in the second half. When you're playing against low block, you have to use your quality players. The Dan Kemps, the Phoenixes. They're the players that are going to help you break that low block down. I guess it goes back to the personnel again. In this match, did Revs choose the right 11? I think we all said before we started, no. I think, Chem should have probably been playing. Phoenix probably should have been playing. Dan Kemp should have probably been playing. You're leaving out some vital players on the bench. But what impressed me second half, we saw that. And that was big. That was huge for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said. I think second half we look back to the team we were at the start of the season. Um, for me, I know a lot of fans aren't happy and with the performance, and they're not happy with the second half. But you know what do you when you go to a Stevenage game, and you know for 90 minutes you're not going to get full dominance. You're going to get periods of time in the game where the other team will dominate, right? And I think we limited Mansfield to maybe 10 minutes of dominance in the game yesterday. Other or we were on top. Second half, we're on top for 40 minutes of it. They had 5 minutes. They had a 5 minute spell where they got the penalty. And we'll come on to the man in the middle in a minute because, dearie me.
Not another ref rant again, are we?
Well, I mean, he was pretty poor.
Yeah, but saying that the Mansfield fans aren't happy with him either way, are they? There's some
Well, yeah,
nonsense
and
coming from them.
I'll address that when I get to it. But I think for me, as a Stevenage fan, I looked at the second half and thought, yeah, we were good. And there's some fans going, oh, we were just less, and excuse the wording. It was first half we were shit, second half we were less shit. What's good then? You know, what do you sit there and go, that's a good Stevenage performance? Is this a good Stevenage performance? Oh yeah, we'll just hoof it long to Jamie Reid. No, we know that doesn't work. The second half was probably, I think we've said it, the best since Stockport. And the other thing I'm going to say might be a bit controversial. Some people might not like it. Charlie, when we played with Charlie Good, experienced centre half, brilliant player. Don't get me wrong, love the guy. With Dan Sweeney, we've got that other side of it where he can sweep up at the back, he can move the ball forward, he progresses forward with the ball. He doesn't just play it, pass it. He drives the ball forward, and it allows the midfield to move up the pitch.
Well, did you see some of those passes by Sweden? Some of those expansive through balls, and it was like he was like one of the creators when he come on,
I
didn't
thought
it?
he was going to score.
Yeah,
You see when he progressed with the ball.
Yeah, I was like, here
yeah,
we go. I see. I like Swede. I think
I,
this is a
yeah,
top League One defender. I think people forget that, don't they?
yeah.
This, you know.
And I think, if we look at the way we've played in the last month and the way teams have played against us with a low block, dare I say it, should Dan Sweeney be playing against teams with a low block that comes to us, play a low block, because then it allows him, he can progress the ball up the pitch, and it allows our midfielders to then move further forward up the pitch, and it causes overloads, right? And then when you go away from him, you go, right, Charlie Good, you're in, the experienced head in there next to Pidge, you know, I think, that we've got to seriously look and consider that option because, I think it could be a way of releasing the pressure and the low blocks, and then we also have your Kemps and your Phoenixes and your Gems and all the rest of it going forward. Um, I thought,
It's an interesting point, isn't it? Because obviously Sweens, whenever he's been called upon this season, has been excellent. I think as well. I think the thing with us is we know we have the players to play like we did in the second half regularly. I mean, we saw at the start of the season, like we know the way that we have to play against the low block. We know we have the players to be able to play against that low block because we've seen it so many times this season. We saw it in the second half yesterday. So I think we know, when you look at this squad and you see the real top level League One players, they're capable of keeping the ball and moving the ball quickly to break down a low block. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
For me, it's no. Honestly, it is literally as simple as this. For fans, for me, for a lot of people, it's about sometimes forgetting your tendencies and just giving it a go. And that's what we saw in the second half. You could physically see the effort the players were putting in to progress the ball, move it quickly, and create chances and score goals. You could see that in the second half. And I feel like first halves, they're so rigid. It looks like we're so stuck to a game plan that we can't get out of it and we can't go and expand and just do what the players want to do. They want to drive with the ball forward, score goals. They want to do that. And I feel like I really like that point about Sweens, because I like Sweens in the way he's very good on the ball, and you'd rather him progress with the ball up the pitch and lose it instead of Charlie Good getting the ball and crossing a diag and it going out of play. You would rather that. You would rather that type of thing being played, that type of ball being played, because it shows that we're trying to play. We're trying to introduce something different into our game to break down the opposition, instead of just going for the big long ball, the direct nature that we know won't work. And I feel like that second half proves that we should be doing different stuff sometimes, taking some risks.
And by the way, sorry, I just wanted to add to your point, and like as well, like from Exeter, right? Obviously, that was our worst one of this season last week. The improvement since Exeter in just a week has been, I think, has been great. Like, we knew that Tuesday against Bolton in that 0-0 was just all about working hard and getting a result on the board, really. But that game yesterday, I wanted to see legit improvement. And in the second half, you saw passages of play, an identity of play, quality of play that you looked at and you thought, yeah, we've made big improvement from last week. And I think people expect it to go from there to there, but it doesn't at this level. It's not baby steps, because we need to win a game of 1, 2, and 16. But my point is in terms of performance improvement, it's going to take a couple of games. It's going to take training sessions at Bragg. It's going to take that. But now that they've got to that point where they've improved and they've played like that, now you look at Tuesday and you go, this is a really good opportunity. With another day's training on Monday, it's a really good opportunity to now see us win. We're back playing this level. So I think that's important as well. What were you going to say, Anne?
I do quite enjoy watching the diags, because they usually end up out of play. So
We
it
just
brings a smile to my face, because we box them in.
The collective groan from the East.
That is true. There was do you know what did it for me yesterday? Right. Bless him. Like, and by the way, we should have never been losing yesterday. Like, that was the thing. I was like, if we lose it, we do not deserve to lose this. We've been brilliant in second half. But it was that moment, I think there was like 5 minutes to go. And I don't know if you boys remember, Harvey White had that free kick. Everyone's got up for it, and it's just gone back and out of plan. I thought, oh no.
Why is Phoenix not our set piece taker when he's on the pitch? Genuinely. Like, he's probably one of the best set piece takers in the league. And he's been told to bugger off, and Harvey White goes and sails it out of play.
Why can't we see a free kick taken by Sweendog or Pidge or something like
that? Just get swings on it, just smash it.
I mean, everyone wants to see that, even attempted.
By the way, why can't Dan Phillips do it as well? Like, he's massive. Just let him run onto it.
Did you see the video of him chucking some darts the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
pineapple haircut. By the way, how good was Jamie Reid, by the way? Absolutely killed that.
Kip weren't very great, was he?
No, yeah, he's just too big, wasn't he? He was just too... Charlie Good's face, though, was like that. Sweens was like that as well, and they were front. I was like, but I like some of those nicknames. Was it Harvey White the Scratcher or something? Scratcher? What's that mean? Barge. I think I know why they call Jamie Reid Barge.
Oh, this will be good.
I have a feeling they call him it. Someone told me this once. I don't know if it was one of Reedy's mates, that he gets called Barge because of his face or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that's a thing, but God knows, I have no idea. Yeah, no, that dance video was funny. We've got to talk about it, boys, because it was hot topic. And again, we've spoke about that brilliant second half. Team selection. This is the one thing for me, really. And obviously, I know that the first half, we know we need to be better. And of course we do. I mean, it would just be so nice for a change to dominate from the first half, a little bit like we did at Luton in a way. It's just the personnel selection, isn't it? I mean, when we look at the bench, Kemp, Chem, Phoenix, Cornick. This is that bench. You've got better players sitting on the bench than some of the players that are starting.
I would have played the bench.
Yeah. I mean, even Sweens, obviously, I know Goody's Goody and he's been brilliant, but that was the one thing for me. I think, and you saw it in the second half, when those big creative players come on, you saw the impact. Kempy and Chem are linking up for the goal. You got Phoenix running at people. You got Cornick coming on and doing really, really good things in the game. I think Revs, and it's difficult with this squad because the squad depth we have and the level that we have, he has to get that 11 right. He has to get that personnel right. And a lot of people thought that he got that wrong on Saturday, really.
Did you think it was too defensive with Dan Phillips and Louis Thompson?
Potentially, yeah. I'd like to have seen Kemp back.
I think that the only reason why Revs might have gone with the same 11 and gone unchanged is because of Tuesday in mind. And I mean, that might have worked in his favour now because it's quite evident what the team needs to be going forward. It needs to be majority of that bench. But yeah, I feel like that it was disappointing in a way because you feel like after Bolton, which I look at it as that result to get us back on track and solidify us after a really uncharacteristic defeat at Exeter. So that was to solidify ourselves. And then coming into Mansfield, you want to go, right, let's go attack the game and get that win. And staying unchanged, I feel like you want to be more attacking. You want to go for the game. And the team in the second half did that. And going with that team that he did kind of feels like he wants a continuation of what he saw at Bolton. And we know we don't really want that because in that game, that was about hard work. That was about grinding. That was about getting the point on the board and solidifying ahead of 2 home fixtures. So I think I was disappointed because I think that Kempy should have played, definitely. I think you could see that Louis Thompson wasn't involved in the game about 20 minutes in. And I was disappointed because obviously Bez started on Tuesday. And then you've got obviously Chem, who I don't know why he isn't playing whatsoever. He should be starting. I feel like it just goes back to my point where we should have gone for it more. But I get it now because of the result, and you have to look back at that. But we definitely know what team we need to play on Tuesday. And I feel like it's quite evident from the performance in the second half.
I completely agree. And I think that... Look, again, we know we need to start winning matches. I think we're at that point now where, we've had 2 wins in 16, it's got to come. When you've got the, level of squad that we've got, we created a top half League One team. This team should be winning games. But for me, the performance was a really, really important thing yesterday. And I thought it was great in the second half. And I think that penny drop in really was quite apparent to me, the way it's, okay, against the low block, you need to play this way. And I think you saw the proof of that. I think people are forgetting as well, by the way, we've had 2 draws. We've drawn against Bolton and Mansfield. Bolton are third in the division. Mansfield had won 5 straight games coming into the game on Saturday. Everyone looked at that and thought, oh my God, we're not going to win that one against Mansfield. So to play like that and perform like that in the second half, I think was a really, really... really big positive for me personally. So looking forward, he has to get the personnel right. As well, you've got to play your best players. You've got to play your big players. You can't leave out the big players. I know this sounds so ridiculous and it's such a youth football sort of thing to say, but when you pick your team, you try and pick your strongest team available. And if your strong players and your big players are available, they play. It's this debate about Phoenix that I've had with many people this season. It's, Phoenix will play in games and certain people will say, well, he's not defensively great. You don't play Phoenix for that. You play Phoenix for his ability in the final third. He's a big player. He creates.
And Chem Campbell. I think Chem Campbell's had a brilliant season.
100%.
And he's 22 years old. He's not old, and he's a youngster still. And
Yeah.
you know, the goals he's chipped in with this season, I think he's had a fantastic season so far.
He's got 4 now. And by the way, you know, that 3-1 win at Stockport, he was brilliant. He was one of the best players on the pitch, Chem Campbell. And I know he got ill. I think it was well documented after, but he hasn't been inside. You know, you've got to play. You know, I remember at the start of the season when we created this top half League One team and we signed players like Chem and Phoenix, players like that, and you thought, oh, they'll be in the side eventually in the season. I remember Phoenix Patterson at the start of the season, seeing him in the pre-season, he was wonderful, right? And then I remember the start of the season thinking, eventually he'll end up starting every game on that wide area. And he should be. Okay, defensively, you don't get that security with Phoenix. You don't play him for that. I mean, I'm not being funny, right? Go along with my point. If you're playing Phoenix on the left and you've got Lewis Freestone at left back, you don't really have to worry about any defensive security with Phoenix because Lewis Freestone's so damn good. You ain't got to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, have to play the big players, the best players. They have to play. Kemp, I know Dan's had a tough season. We haven't played the right way to him. Has to play on Tuesday. Has to be in that 10 on Tuesday. If we're going to play the way that we did in the second half, Dan Kemp has to play because he is the... I'm going to call him the key master to opening all the doors in that 10 role because he really is. And he showed that Saturday, I thought. I can see you giggling over there, by the way, Anne. What are you giggling at?
The key master. Honestly, where do you pluck these things from?
The key holder.
Yeah, they're pure stupidity at some point. That's just dropped. There was sprinkle.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark McKee. No, too early.
No.
Too early. All right, no, sorry, that was my bad. My bad.
Before we go on, can I just address maybe the elephant in the room?
What, the Bears?
No,
the official in the room.
Yeah,
yeah. I didn't know you worked for the PGMOL. And saying that, why don't you try and get a job as like the PGMOL coordinator?
Just sack everyone.
Yeah, there'll be no more refs.
I'll be bald before you will be, Farley. That's for sure. If I was
I can't help it, mate. I'm 32 in 4 months. I'll be Scott Cuthbert by the time of next year. You know.
No, I think the official had a stinker of a game. If I'm honest, I think you booked Dan Phillips 2 minutes into a game. So for me, that means you've set your precedent as what is deemed a yellow card foul. Mansfield then commit the same sort of fouls throughout the first half, get nothing. Jordan Roberts then goes in, wins the ball. His studs weren't up, his boots were flat, like they were pointing, sideways, and they weren't going to endanger a player. And he gets booked for it, despite winning the ball. And then I'm watching him, and it took him until I think it was the 70th minute, was it? Until Mansfield got their first card. Look, I'm afraid the penalty's a penalty. Jasper Pattenden's done a Dan Butler and dived in when he probably could have just allowed the man, and he just changed his body angle and gets back in. But the referee had an absolute stinker. I think for our goal to an extent, I think he may have made a few errors.
Well, he completely lost it at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, I think there was a moment where he booked Sweens when you could clearly see, and I don't know why the linesman just went, mate, I'm telling you, it's a corner. It comes off a Mansfield player's foot. I mean, if that's a goal kick, then bloody hell, half the corners we've had this year are clearly bloody goal kicks and all.
Yeah,
it was a disgrace.
The early bookings were ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 minutes into a game, and then that for me then hinders Phillips in a sense of he can't go and do what he's good at and being aggressive and going to make them sort of tackles, which thankfully, he did go and make another three tackles, and he probably realistically, had he not got an early booking, would have had a booking later on in the game the way he was playing it. But my point is, yet again, fans have spent however much it is they for the ticket they choose to sit in. They've paid X amount of pounds to go and watch two teams of 11 men play football to try and win a game, and it's been ruined by a man in a yellow shirt because
What,
he's gone
Stewart? Sorry.
idiot, absolute
Sorry.
plonker.
Sorry, I've just ruined
But,
Anne's mother. Go on, continue.
but he's ruined what should have been and could have been a fantastic spectacle had he not decided to go, hang on, I think today should be all about me. And you looked at the size of him and you compared him to all the players on the pitch, and he was the smallest bloke out there. So I'm putting it down to small man syndrome. And because he's not got that power, because he's not the same height, or he's not got the muscular build, he's going to have to
I'll be honest
ruin it
here.
by using his whistle. Unfortunately, son, and the worst thing is, he'll be in the Championship next week. Realistically, he should be in the Isthmian Premier Division relearning rules because he didn't have a bloody clue what was going on.
To be honest, you're starting to sound with that analysis. You're starting to sound like Ryan Luton and Travel a little bit.
Oh,
You are, mate. You're.
Well, look,
Because of his genetics.
he's the official today this week's idiot of the week.
Oh yeah, actually,
no,
can we put him in? Is there no way or?
He must be nominated, surely.
yeah,
I'm nominated.
he runs a close race. Can always. Do you want to get the idiot of the week out now?
You know what? Do idiot of the week, right? And then we'll look at the league table and have a chat forwards on Tuesday. Go on, idiot of the weekend. Go
Alfie Williams.
on. Ooh.
Back in the day, the last time I saw Alfie Williams play was uh it would have been last season when he was down at Hampton and Richmond. And let me tell you, he was at left back that day and he was pony. I think he got roasted anytime the opposition came towards him.
So normal service resumed then.
Yeah.
Idiot of the week. There it is, everyone. There's Anne's idiot of the week. Well, look, boys, I think to end on the 1-1 draw, look, positive, really positive second half, got a result, which was important. You know, we never deserved to lose that. And a real positive step in the right direction. Now, can we win a game of football? Because I think we're at that point where with this team, you know, this creating a top half League One team, and we really have created a top half League One team. We need to start winning matches because since the restart against Doncaster, I think our form is 2 wins, 7 draws, and 4 defeats. So we got
the thing is, it's got to stop now because we look at it honestly. For the last month, every single game we've been going, that's the game, that's the game, that's the game.
Yeah,
and 99% of the time we're slipping up in those games, and we're looking at it and go, okay, we got what we got from that, but it's not what we originally wanted. Tuesday it can't be because Saturday we got away with it. It was a good performance second half, but we got away with it. And, you know, we've got that bit of luck in the last minute. We need to now build on from that. And there shouldn't be any excuses. You've had 3 home games. You should be picking up a win.
Yeah, I am. Honestly, and I know I call every big game for us a big game in this league this season. I really think Tuesday.
Don't say it.
No, I'm going to phrase it differently. I really think Tuesday is like. No, I was going to say the game. I was going to say, is that what you were expecting me to say, or
you're going to say the biggest game of the season?
It's the biggest game of the season. No, in all honesty, right? I really think Tuesday is the game. I'm not going to, because I feel like you're expecting me to say, do you know what? I'm throwing it out. It's the biggest game of the whole season. I'm sorry, boys. It is huge. It is monumental. It is massive. There you go. I got it out. No, I think it's the game for us. I think if we win the game Tuesday, it's 5 points from 9. And actually, given our form over the last month, that's a really positive run of form. And you're going into the last 20 games, you've had this crazy run for 16 games, right? You've got 5 points in 9, unbeaten in 3, a home win. It just, you can kind of put some form together, put some results together, build a bit of momentum. And also to go along with that, the way that we played in the second half, it really felt like the penny dropped after 2 to 3 months of how to play against a team that play in a low block. So I really look at the game Saturday, and for me, look, massive game. We're 8th, they're 9th. It'll be a tough game. Peterborough have had an unbelievable 2 months under Luke Williams, but for me, I think this is the game for me personally. League table, really quickly before we come onto it, a crazy weekend of games. There were 3 early kickoffs. But we'll quickly go through the division. We'll go from bottom to top. Bottom 4 at the minute: Port Vale, Rotherham, Doncaster and Northampton. From 20th to mid-table: Burton, Wigan, Wimbledon, Blackpool, Orient, Barnsley, Plymouth, Reading and Wickham. 11th to 7th: Mansfield, Exeter, Peterborough. Stevenage football team are nestled in there. 8th place, Luton are 7th, and at top 6, Huddersfield, Stockport, Bradford, Bolton, Lincoln and Cardiff. Do you know what's crazy, lads? Do you know what I find absolutely crazy? If we win 2 games in a row, we're 1 point off third. It's just, I can't get my head around. Like in any other season, we'd probably be about 15th or...
League is so bad.
What is going on? Like, how can you be... Like these people saying we're in a relegation battle. Yeah, because... Luton are technically in one. Like the league is so like, you know.
Oh yeah, if you switch it the other way, if we lose 2 games, we could be 17th.
There's that. Do you know what I mean? So crazy division at the minute. And why do I feel like, right? I don't know if you boys see the same as me, but I really think that this is going to sound mental because we've won 2 games in 16. If there's a team to bet on as an outsider to make the playoffs in that pat below, I'd put money on us, you know, because
why does that not surprise me?
The reason why I say that, we've had 2 wins in 16 and we're 3 points off the playoffs because we all know this isn't going to go to the end of the season. It's not. Like we've got the level of the squad is so good. They are going to eventually start winning games again. Right?
The problem for me is that we've played all the bottom half sides.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I just feel like if we're gonna get better, which we know we are, I think we've got a very good opportunity of getting in there. I know some big sides there, but I really fancy if we're going to improve, that is, of course. If it goes for the next few weeks, we still not winning games and that might get cut short. But I don't know. I'm looking at it and I don't know.
This is a weird take for me though. But for me, for the rest of the season, if we pick it up, you want to be going away from home or setting up at home, and from the opposition point of view, you do not, as Stevenage, you do not want to be playing like Stevenage, if you know what I mean. You don't want to be playing predictable because all the big sides will look at us and know how we're going to play.
Mm.
And that's especially at home. So if we can turn that round and we can introduce the things that we had at the start of the season and more, when people weren't finding us out, when people didn't know what we were going to offer, because of the signings we brought in, do it again. Just do it again. Take risks and do it again, because if it doesn't work, it's just going to add to the form that we've had. And if it does work, the new stuff we bring in, the new dynamics, new players, new system, we could be up there again. If you give the opposition something different to think about, it could work. And that's what we need to do. Do something different. See if it works.
Do you know what as well, right? These last 20 matches, I don't just want us to do, really well because of the league we're in. I think there's a really, really exciting opportunity to evolve in the summer again, adapt, get even better, and next season stay up the top of League One. I really believe that, and I really want to end this season really well so that you go into next summer. You can retain players, you can attract new players. I think it's really important. Next season, I'll tell you, there's a really great opportunity to stay a top League One team. And I think these last 20 games are really, really important for that as well. I really, really want us to end really well. I know obviously it's still 20 and it's a big chunk. But
these moments are crucial though, because these moments we win games in these tough months. We learn from it for next season, and I feel like it's been a theme of maybe the time under Evans, the start to life under Revell in his second spell. It's been a fantastic start to every single season. Every single season we've been up there at the start, and we've tailed off in this period. So if we can get some wins together and we can keep with that top echelon of the league, it could do so much for our long-term success because of having that experience in these situations in the top half in this league. And if we tail off and, see ourselves in the bottom half in mid-table, then that's not going to affect us. You could just see us next season doing the exact same thing.
Because that was the goal, wasn't it? It was to become a top half League One team. And next season, we want to stay a top half League One team. That's for these next few years under this management and this squad. That's what we want to see. I completely agree. Tuesday, boys. I'm excited. I'm not a little kid. I can't wait. Honestly, I know it's really weird, right? Because people are gutted at the minute because we're not winning any games. But I love watching the team play. I know I get absolutely bombed. But I get bulldozed for saying that. But I'm really excited for it, Tuesday. I really want to see this team win a game of football. What a game. 8th, 9th, Peterborough United at home. Anne's got his head on the wall. I don't know if that's just generally because of me or the game. I'm guessing it's because of me.
Both.
Yeah, a bit of both. And I think maybe Anne's hitting his head on the wall about thinking about another idiot, maybe. I don't know if that's part. But...
No, not one. One's not come to mind yet. Give it a few days.
Yeah, or give it a few minutes more, like.
Give it
it's destined to be a 0-0, isn't it?
No, honestly, right. I think this is going to be a really tough game, isn't it? Because obviously Peterborough have been really, really good for the past couple of months, and obviously we've had the issues that we've had, which has been well documented for the last 16 games. But if we play the way that we did in that second half on Saturday, and we get the personnel right, okay, and when that team sheet comes out, Chem Campbell, Phoenix Patterson, Dan Kemp.
There's Labala.
Listen, off the bench, you never know. But if we get the personnel right, start the game like we played in the second half, I've got no doubt that they'll win this game on Tuesday. Right, but they have to get the personnel right. It is so important. I don't know what you boys think, but for me, as we saw in the second half against Mansfield, has to get the personnel right Tuesday.
It's a tough game, tough game definitely, because they're a side really reinvented under Luke Williams. I mean, their style is completely possession based, attacking football, and they're a very youthful side as well. Very youthful side. And that could work in our hands, if we give the right approach, a bit of physicality, a bit of aggression with a high press. Maybe if we enforce that well, it's a game you want to see Dan Phillips in, definitely. And we need the creative players in there. We need the big players off the bench to give that mix. I think, as you always say, we want that blend in our style. We want that mix. We don't just want the one-dimensional. We want a bit of both. We want a bit of aggression and a bit of expansive nature as well. We want all that because they're a youthful side, They're a side that's learning how to play under a new manager still. We want to show what we can do at home. We want to be solid. And I know they're in form and I know they're a good team, but especially after that second half, after the back of that, confidence it may give, to then put in a solid 90-minute performance like we saw in the reverse fixture, it could be really good. It could be a really good time to play this fixture.
I think so too. Honestly, I'm really optimistic about this. I think that performance in the second half Saturday, let's play to that level. Let's play the way that we did in that second half. Let's get the personnel right. If we get those two things right, if we get the personnel right and we play with that identity, that style that we did in the second half, I think we'll win Tuesday night. I really, really do. And you're right that, actually, when you looked at the return fixture, Revs went with a 3-5-2. Is there a possibility of doing that again? Because look, I know it's at home, obviously, but I remember that because that was the game where he changed it. He went 3-5-2 at Peterborough away. We won 1-0. And it just got us back picking up points, playing really well, winning games over that period. And I really liked it. Maybe that's a possibility. But I think more than anything, get the team right. Play that style and identity that we did in the second half on Saturday against Mansfield. And I'm really confident about this game. Look, the thing is it's a tough game, right? Peterborough are a very good side. Luke Williams has done a great job. But we know that we have a top half League One team and we can beat anyone in this division. We've proved that. So it should be a game that we control and we find a winning, personally. When we talk about the personnel, boys, is it, for everyone here, is it literally Chem, Phoenix, Kemp are the three to go in for you, boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Louis Thompson, Labala, Robbo
are the ones that go out.
Yeah.
I'd then put Phillips with Harve. Obviously, Sweens might be in. I don't know what's going on with Good.
Yeah. I think
it would be be free and free out.
Yeah.
What I like about having Roberts off the bench is you've got someone like Phoenix or Chem running at you, going left, going right. It's a tricky winger, and then you bring Roberts on with maybe 25 to go, and it's a completely different prospect because it's physical. It's then as a defender, it's a nightmare. Imagine playing against Ronaldo for 70 odd minutes and then you go and face Roberts. It's like, well, is it going to be physical or is it going to be are you going left or are you going right? You don't know what's going on, do you? It's one of them. I quite like Roberts off the bench. It just adds a different dynamic. It makes the defenders think about and change their game.
No,
Did you just say Ronaldo and Roberts?
Sorry, can you just rephrase what you just said there? Ronaldo and Roberts.
My point was, Ronaldo's got the ability to go one way or the other, like Phoenix, right? And then you take them off.
Sorry.
I was expecting this world-class European Champions League winner, not.
Well, there's no one that's got physicality of Roberts as a winger.
Do you mean Cristiano Ronaldo? You got for that one?
Cristiano.
Which one are we talking
Who's Cristiano?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I'm going to call Robbo Cristiano now.
Cristiano.
Finish it now.
End it on that.
You know what? I was going to call this pod improved, but improved, but more to go. That was it. Should we just call it Cristiano?
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo. But no, I know what you're trying to say. I do know what you're trying to say. Oh, God, dear me. That's what I said.
Miriam setting.
Literally, boys, really quickly before we and again, hopefully we can finally win on Saturday. I'll be in tears. And by the way, I just want to throw in there, it'll be so nice to see Marlon Beresford fist bumping.
No, far too much airtime.
End it now.
This podcast is one of the greatest ones we've done this season. Cristiano to Beresford.
Cristiano's the only reason why I'm giggling right now.
Oh, for goodness sake.
If I sit in the middle of a lecture tomorrow and I think of Cristiani, I swear to God.
Sounds like a certain type of bread from France or something.
And you forced that upon yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, mate. Can I get the Cristiani and bacon? Oh, for goodness sake, my belly's killing me. My lungs.
Finish it.
It's gone. I might need my asthma pump. Cristiano. Oh my goodness. That was elite. That was such a good 2 minutes. That was such a good 3 minutes. Oh my God. Well, look, hopefully we can bag the win Tuesday and there'll be oh my God, I say a sigh of relief. Oh my word. Imagine. And by the way, we haven't won at home since Luton. 4th of October. I know Anne's holding on for dear life there. I'm going to try and not cave in.
I just see Luke at the top of my screen, head in hands. Beresford, oh no.
Beresford on his knees, like.
End it.
Yeah, Cristiano. Mate, by the way, I've made Anne cry. I've made him cry. And he's actually crying. And Luca. Made 2 people cry. Oh God, that might have been one of the funniest moments ever on the podcast, by the way. Cristiano
to Beresford within 30 seconds. How was it possible?
Mate, I love Beresford. What a guy. Oh dear me. Boys, prediction competition. What a nice way to go into it. Ad is done. I don't think Ad's going to recover, or Luca. I don't think the boys are going to recover from Cristiano. For goodness sake. I can't even say this. The competition, boys, it has opened up massively. A little bit like League One, actually. So,
what, the Cristiani competition?
Oh,
Stop it.
What, the Cristiani Panini competition? We'll have to call it. Cristiani Bacon Panini competition. Oh my God.
Pull it off.
All I see is hands and Anne just out of it. For goodness sake. Oh God, my lungs actually hurt. My lungs. I bet the listeners are like, what the fuck is going on?
They need to tune into YouTube to understand what's going on.
I think if you're listening on Spotify, just hop over to YouTube and just fast forward it to whatever we are, an hour and 10, and just see what's happened here. Oh, it's unbelievable. The prediction competition is opened up massively. So obviously we've had Exeter, Bolton and Mansfield. Now, we did Exeter's last week. For Bolton, and you went...
Did I say 0-0?
You went 1-0 Bolton. So you have scored 2 points because you got half a prediction, and
I thought I should have gone with 0-0.
Luca, you went 2-0 us, but you got half a prediction correct. So you get 2 points. I went 2-1. So I get no points, which is just ruined.
Well, Cristiano Campbell on that left-hand side.
Cristiano Ronaldo. For goodness sake. Mansfield. And you went 2-0 us. So no points scored. I also went 2-0 us. So no points scored. But Luca went 1-0 us. So Luca scored 2 points. So the table at the minute is, and you have 13 points on the board. I have 13 points on the board. And Luca has 14 points on the board. Luca has taken the lead for the first time.
Cristiani.
Cristiani. He's taken the lead in the prediction competition. Now, this week, boys, I just want to let us know, we will be doing another episode before Barnsley. So we'll talk about that one there. But Peterborough, and you went for a 1-0 win us. Are you confident?
Yeah, I think I'll stick with that.
Like that positivity. Luca, you've gone for 2-1 us. And I've also gone 2-1 us. So yeah, we've all done us to win on
Do you
that.
know? Do you know what I'd like it to be? I don't know if you watched the Arsenal Man United game early. You know the
It's
if
yeah.
you did the Marino goal where it just sort
Mm.
of bundled over the line. That's what I'd like to see be our winner.
Beresford
Some
down the touchline. Oh,
Don't you want to save that for
no,
Leeds, the playoff
too
final?
much airtime.
goodness sake. I love him. He's the guy, mate. He's the guy. He's the man. Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? A bundling ball over, scenes down the front of the North Stand, just limbs jumping around. That'd be
But you just
Deans
see
and North
Farley just
Stand do not
jumping up.
belong in the same sentence.
yeah, no, literally. Yeah, limbs in the North.
You
It's
just see
mucky. Yeah.
you
See
just
me.
see Farley and his dad going jumping up and down,
Yeah, what the
running around
AI? What,
everywhere.
you mean, what swinging the? Yeah. That would be unreal, by the way.
Winning the diversity.
Yeah. Diversity banner just that by after Anne's claim to fame, well, not claim to fame, but his moment of fame on the Stevenage Football Club Foundation Insta page. Boys, really quickly before we end the pod, because we have been going for about an hour and 20, so we've got 5 minutes left. Got to discuss it. Don't want to discuss it, but I feel like we have to touch on it, right? Because and this is weird because we're eighth and we've got 39 points and we're like, win Tuesday, we can go level with sixth. But Alex Revell, right, Revs, I love Revs, and I think he's created this top half League One team, and the fact that he's created this top half League One team suggests to me that he's a cracking manager. And there's been a lot of criticism. And there's been a lot of people saying, how long does Revs have? And I can't even believe that I'm asking this because, if someone would have said this to me at the start of the season, like October, I'd have been like, what? But is there a time clock on Revs here? I mean, because people were starting to suggest that if it continues, then there needs to be a change. Is that right? Or
I think there would have been a time clock set, if we'd lost on Saturday. And if the second half performance was like the first half one, I think that second half performance has probably saved it a little bit. But I feel like that result allows a win on Tuesday, and I feel like all the rumours should be gone. I think it comes down to it. If it continues for 5 more games, that's when I think you look at it, there's problems. Because now, however well we were doing early on in the season, it is 2 wins in 16. And for any manager, that's horrendous. And it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, 2 wins in 16 is horrendous at any level. But I think that, honestly, that second half performance and that late goal has not saved it, because I don't think there was a time clock. I think I would have, if it was me and the winless run kept going for 2 or 3 games, I think I would have set it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that is just, for me, they're out the window, really.
Yeah, I think I'm sticking by Revs. He's my gaffer. I love the bloke. I think he's done a brilliant job. I'm sticking by. I feel like also with the 5-year contract that he signed as well, I don't think Phil would have looked at an opportunity to throw that. I feel like if the team lost Tuesday and they lost at Barnsley and they went into February, then you're looking at it and you're going, we've had 2 wins in 20. We've legit won 2 wins for the half of the season, then people might have a case. But I might be wrong. I just don't think that will happen. I think we will win a game, whether it's Tuesday or at Barnsley or against Northampton, which is a really winnable game, by the way, that's coming up. It's just an interesting discussion, isn't it? Because, this is something that we never thought we'd be speaking about back in October, but people are actually suggesting it. For you, Anne, when's kind of the cut-off time for you?
I think had yesterday not gone the way it did, I think they would be looking at Tuesday and Barnsley and going, you need something out of these 2 games. For me, my thing is, would Phil Wallace go and pay all this money and go and give him a 5-year contract extension to then, however many months down the line, go, you're sacked? He's
No.
not, is he? Because then he's going to
No.
have to pay him out of his 5-year contract.
I think
So
as
it
well.
would just be a stupid thing to do.
I think as well. Like, as much as we're at a point where, this is a massive season. We've become a top half League One team. You look at it next season to stay a top half League One team. Revs is still very early into his management. And I think people forget that. But he's still early. He has another season this season. He has another season next season. He will improve. It's just, sticking by him as I think a lot of people find difficult, don't they, with us? It's like, you lose a few games, our fan base, you lose a few games on the bounce, everyone wants the gaffer gone, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But I think it's important to stick, to get through it together and get another season in the bag for Revs, because I really think Revs is for what he's created in terms of creating this top half League One side. I think he's done a phenomenal job, and I think he's going to get better and better season on season. I think it's getting through this period together, and that's why I'm hoping that they can win Tuesday and put some results together. But interesting one. Boys, I think we've come to the end. Is there anything that you want to add, lads, other than Cristiano?
No.
Sorry, Anne's gone. God, that was so good.
You've got to title the pod that now, because that's the highlight.
Damn it, I've created the thumbnail and everything. Maybe I'll have to go back and put a little something on, maybe.
I feel like he deserves a shout out every pod now.
Or Cristiano. Like Phoenix on Tuesday plays like Cristiano, and it's like, yeah, he's playing like Cristiano. I think we should. Bro, fans, thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 37 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. We'll be back again next week, guys, reacting to Tuesday night's massive match against Peterborough. Let's hope that we've finally won a match of football. We'll be into under the 20 games left. And we'll be looking ahead to the big match at Barnsley to end January, going into Feb, when we play Northampton to kick off a really hectic month, actually. We've got a lot of matches in Feb. Guys, go make sure to give us a follow and a like on YouTube, and also give us a follow and a like on the Audibles, Spotify, exactly. Stay tuned for the content this week. Get yourself down to the stadium on Tuesday and come and support the team. Let's try and get a good crowd in. I was on Peterborough United's website earlier. They've sold 980 at the minute. So I think they're going to have quite a big crowd. So let's get in, support the team, and let's get a win and, make it a real memorable game this season that we all look back on at the end of this season, going into next season as the pivotal win. Guys, have a fantastic week. We'll see you again probably on Thursday, and fingers crossed for our big game on Tuesday night. Stay tuned for the content at this time, guys. As always, you have been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.